If we need to address an issue in real life, we have to apply the scientific method to each particular case. The Large Hadron Collider cost billions to build on the promise that it would lead to understanding of the construct of the universe from the smallest particles upwards. And the James Webb Space Telescope was launched at the cost of billions to uncover the mysteries of the universe from the biggest downwards. And this link is to the discussion about that. Both of these projects have revealed more problems than solutions and have proved the basis of all science has not been codified correctly at this time. This is today's script about money that we will create to solve the problem that worries everyone. Why is this worrying scientists? New James Webb Telescope discovery shakes up Einstein's theory of exoscience. In the beginning, the idea behind the Large Hadron Collider that of scientists who want money and politicians who want power. But that was not the beginning, it was the idea. The beginning of this project was money, and why it was created and how it was created. There have been 2 world wars that have killed millions and destroyed a lot of value, and the Second World War continues until today in Gaza, Ukraine, Yemen and other places. These wars will all stop when weapons cease to be manufactured, but that will result in dictators losing control. Those with bows and arrows beat those with swords. Those with guns beat those with bows and arrows. Those with planes and bombs beat those with guns. Those with guided hypersonic rockets beat those with planes. Those with nuclear bombs are suicidal. The science behind all weapons is the control of energy, and weapons enable dictators to kill and destroy from the comfort of their luxurious lives. The social structure that sustains this system is called capitalism and relies on the general belief in money. The belief in money drove millions of people to work in the projects that built the LHC and launched the James Webb Telescope. The government thinks they create money out of thin air, but a scientist knows that the people are money because without the work value of people, there is no way they can control energy that allows millions of people to function as a community. Investing in explosions is fruitless, but investing in understanding brings a better life to everybody. A CPN head office will bring together the people with the skills to control the corrosion that is presently causing pipelines to leak and billions of pounds. I designed the Alexander cell to separate the anode from the cathode and to make it possible to subject this single corrosion cell to the electrical pressure in the electrolyte surrounding the pipeline or structure. The difficulty was to see the effect of cathodic protection current that passes to pipelines through both the anode and the cathode of each corrosion cell. This is described in detail later in the course, where I show how to make an Alexander cell. And this picture shows briefly what it is. seems a good idea to explain the development of the Alexander cell within the concept of time being expansion. This would ideally be displayed as a fractal, but I don't know how to draw them. This is something that you draw with a computer based on a sort of formula thing. It's called a set. You will have to imagine that this picture is the inside of a solid globe in which the observer is on the skin of the globe at a point that is the observable personal time that we call now. In this picture I've shown the idea, the very first drawing of the very first Alexander cell. The globe is filled with events that are expanding into cones and filling the past with space and mass. In the previous now, everything is smaller as time is expansion. So there is no possibility of changing the past. The idea and design of the Alexander cell came into existence like the Higgs boson, and this caused its construction along with other events that formed my personal timeline within the cone of events that was comprised of the timelines and events that was formed by the expansion of the universe. In the next picture we can see the cone of events within which the observer is expanding. The observer is occupying the same space for the whole time shown in this series of pictures. The space seems smaller because looking back in time from an expanding skin of the ball is further away, and the perspective shrinks the observed. The moon, planets and stars shrink to pinpoints as they are more distant. The next image shows the observer's cones of events as shrinking time gets more distance. Now we must address the issue of space is elsewhere, according to Stephen Hawking in his book, A Brief History of Time. If you see, the cones are getting smaller. I have tried to shade elsewhere to make it easier to visualize other observers in this space with their individual cones of events. Remember, this is just not just 3D into which the cones must fit, but that time is expansion and is a dimension. In this picture, you will see that I have shown elsewhere as shaded. That is as Stephen Hawking describes it and as I visualize it. Mathematics cannot cope with this concept, and I have shaded the next picture to help to explain. The problem arises when instruments such as the James Webb Telescope sends images from the shaded area that is outside of all the cones of events of all sentient observers. If you scroll down a bit. The events that occur a day ago have all happened to all sentient observers. But when expansion is the dimension of time, there must be events that are only observable to instruments. And these are transmitted at the speed of light to the point in space occupied by the sentient observer. A computer using binary logic and layered spreadsheet techniques, relational database for example, can accurately plot the exact position of any point in space without the distortion of perspective that occurs in Euclidean mathematics. Bitmap pictures plot every pixel in this way, and I have just plotted this picture on a spreadsheet. In the next picture, you can see that time expanding can accommodate days and also accommodate nanoseconds to millennium. Human observers' eyes pass info to the brain at about 16 pictures per second, and old-fashioned chemical films expose at about 20 frames per second. This is what fools the brain into believing the movement of the pictures. Space does not have to be curved, as it is fully occupied with the past that cannot be changed. This is proven by the fact that we cannot go back in time and alter a photograph that is a chemical record of a slice of time. We cannot alter a film that is a series of slices of time with audio synchronization.